Hello everybody, we are back with another runway makeup video. If you are a regular viewer on my channel, you know that every time Fashion Week, or rather Fashion Month, comes around, we sit down together and we talk about the makeup looks that have graced the runways of that particular Fashion Week. I like to divide these videos into 4 parts. The first part is New York, second is London, third is Milan, and then fourth is Paris. If you haven't seen these kinds of videos before, I'd recommend checking out my other runway makeup videos. But before we begin, I do have an announcement to make for those of you who are regular viewers on my channel. If you want to skip, I will put the timestamp on the screen so you can skip ahead and see the makeup looks. But this is just for those of you who watch me on a regular basis. I have actually decided to stop uploading every day. A lot of you might have noticed that I have skipped a few days recently. I have not been consistent because my thing used to be I upload every single day. You'll see me on this channel every single day. However, I have realized that the problem with that is it's a lot of work. I've been uploading every day since, I would say, last year, and when I started uploading every day, it was something that worked for me because the way I did my videos back then and the way I produced them was a lot less of a time constraint, and my channel took a lot less work back then. However, ever since I have been introducing new concepts, ever since I've been experimenting more with editing and my filming style and what I've been doing, I've realized that it takes a lot more work to take my channel where I want it to be. I really just realized that if I want to work at these topics, if I want to really make these videos the way I want them to be made, it takes a lot of time, and I want to be able to sit in front of you and tell you that if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. And if I say that I'm going to upload every day and I'm missing a few days, I don't think that's really honest, and I don't think that that's fair to those of you who are watching. So what I'm thinking right now is I want to upload once every other day. Of course, I will probably be uploading a lot more often than that, but instead of saying that I'm going to be uploading every day, I would say that I'm going to be uploading every other day with uploads in between. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense, and I also want to go back to uploading my videos at 8 a.m. This video is probably not going up at 8 a.m., but nevertheless, I want to try and make sure that my videos are uploaded at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, because right now the timing has been really sporadic and I just want to get back into things. I hope you guys understand. This is just because I really want to make sure that my content is the best that it can be in that particular moment, and I realize that with all my other priorities in life, I just can't make YouTube a top priority because number one, that isn't realistic, and number two, I have other things I need to do. I have my job, I have my schooling, and that needs to get done first and foremost, and YouTube can't become something that is my full-time job because it isn't. But I really enjoy it and I really love it and I really want to make amazing content, and I can do that, but only if I cut back on how often I upload. With that being said though, let's just get right into this video. Now, the first show that I want to talk about is Marc Jacobs. Now, the makeup artist for this show was Pat McGrath. Now, I actually did a video talking all about Pat McGrath, and that was a makeup history video, and I published it earlier this week, but I'll put it in the cards if you haven't already seen it. It was a really fun video that I did and I really enjoyed it. I love Pat McGrath so much, and if you want to learn more about her, or if you are, like me, a big fan of Pat McGrath and you want to learn more, that is a great resource as well. But Pat McGrath basically created 60 unique makeup looks for this show, and these are a few photos of the makeup looks that she created. Something that I've found is really present in a lot of the different shows is that makeup looks have been a lot less uniform, and now what we're seeing on the runway is that we're seeing makeup looks that are generally tailored to each and every single model. Sometimes this is a little bit more extreme in some shows rather than others, but in this Marc Jacobs show, you definitely see that each and every single model has a really unique looking makeup look that happens to fall under the theme of the show. This is a quote from Pat McGrath: "The looks were all about an idealized interpretation of real life. There is a nod to the past and future. What's great is taking the looks that come from the past but modernizing them. These looks included rhinestones, cellophane, and glitter, and in addition, the looks were inspired by icons such as Twiggy, Barbara Streisand, and Jane Fonda." So you can really see that theme running through the entire set of makeup looks, that really liberal use of eyeshadow and just sparkle. I just really enjoyed the extreme nature of these makeup looks. I thought it was quite fascinating. Now, Pierre Moss's show focused on Black femininity, and the makeup artist for this show was Danielle Salstrom. And this is a show that I actually really enjoyed seeing because you guys know how much I loved just seeing really colorful makeup looks, and they did focus on a really colorful makeup palette for this show. And in addition to that, they have rhinestones on a lot of the models. I also really like how there's a sense of minimalism to a lot of the looks, however, it's still very impactful. For example, there's a red makeup look on one of the models with a lot of rhinestones, but all the features of the look tended to be very monochromatic. You had red eyeshadow and you had reddish rhinestones. Moving forward, we have another makeup look that was like a really effortless looking blue smoky eye with what looks like a little bit of glitter on the eyelids as well. I can't really see if that's glitter or gloss, but I really love like the minimalistic effect of these looks because they are colorful and they're vivid, but they're created in a way that looks very editorial but very simplistic at the same time. And the finished effect is of course very vibrant and very out there, but these makeup looks do a really great job of emphasizing the clothes, I think, and not necessarily diminishing them. Moving on, I want to talk about Laquan Smith. The makeup artist for this show was Sir John, and this show actually had some of my favorite makeup looks from this entire season so far. I was really drawn to the really beautiful, impactful, high shine finish of the eyelids on the models, and I was also really drawn to the shape of the eyeshadow and how it was so structured. Some of these eyeshadow looks definitely look like flames on the model's eyelids. It looks so beautiful and so like just impactful. They had some bronze tones on some of the models, and then they had some really colorful versions as well. You definitely see some blue eyeshadow in this show. Again, you have that sense of individuality, and in many ways no two looks are precisely the same, and that is really refreshing to see because it definitely, I would think, raises interest in the entire show whenever you have models who don't necessarily look the same. They all look different, and that individuality is embraced even in the makeup looks. Tomi Kazumi was another show that I absolutely loved seeing. I mean, look at how vivid and how bright and how almost theatrical this makeup is. These like makeup looks were so like just intense. I was absolutely just like floored by the entire effect because if you look at the clothes of the show, and yes, I like to reference clothes a lot in these videos because I mean these makeup looks really are supposed to bolster the entire show, and it's fun to see how the makeup look and the fashion just combines. But you can see that the effect of the show is really out there and really just big and, dare I say, camp. This entire show is just so like out there, so vibrant, and so just impactful. I love just how bright and vivid the makeup look is, and the clothes are so like intense and so like just impactful themselves. So the two elements, the makeup and the clothes, really just like come together so beautifully. I absolutely love this so much. You guys know how much I love drama, and this show makes me really excited. Next, I want to talk about Jeremy Scott. Now, the makeup artist for this show was Kabuki, and Jeremy Scott is always a fun designer because he always just uses really bright and vibrant colors and textures, and he's not afraid of experimentation. And what's really interesting is how the makeup looks in his shows reflect that. And in this particular case, what the makeup artist Kabuki did is that they took elements of like the neon in the collection and they created that for the makeup, and you have like that minimal aesthetic. I mean, nothing looks too overwhelming. The models don't even look like they're wearing mascara, if at all. The skin looks very luminous and very like perfected but not artificial looking, and then the lips are like very light and glossy, and actually the eyes look very glossy as well. But as you can tell, the entire effect of the look is very minimal, and it's very classic in that way, and it's very editorial at the same time. It's really quite fascinating, and also I really loved the wigs that were just like on the models' heads as well. The entire effect ended up looking really, really beautiful as well. Next, I want to talk about Chromat. Now, the makeup artist for this show was Carrie Blair for MAC. I absolutely love how the model's natural skin really seems to shine through with these looks. You see freckles on a lot of the models' faces, and it looks like they're not even wearing foundation. I don't know if they are, but I'm really fascinated as well by the eye looks. There's a lot of juxtaposition, I think, of different colors. And one of my favorite eye looks was like this liner effect with blue and white, and I really like the graphic effect of that look as well. And then in some of the looks you also have like that touch of lime green in the inner corner as well. A lot of people were saying that this was inspired by Euphoria. I'm not really sure about that because I feel like now whenever somebody sees like a minimal but still very colorful, effortless looking makeup look, they say it's inspired by Euphoria. But nevertheless, I still really like how just like effortless and how colorful and how editorial these looks are. Now, Mansur Gabriel was absolutely fascinating to me. Now, Bobbi Brown did the makeup for this show, and look at the model's eyelids. I mean, this is just absolutely fascinating. You have glossy lips, you have like perfected but very natural looking skin, you have brushed up brows, but the makeup, like they literally drew like suns on some of the models with like this like yellow color, and then they have clouds on some of the other models. I mean, this effect is absolutely like so fun and so like skillfully done. It looks so impressionist really, and I love this. Even from afar it creates an impact because you see like that yellow and that blue and it's really vibrant, but when you come closer it's like, wow, these are literally like just drawings on the eyelids. It's absolutely fascinating. I absolutely love these looks. The makeup at Jason Wu was done by Diane Kendall. This is definitely a more minimal but still very colorful look. It's a very blush heavy. It's a nice look. However, is it my style? No, not necessarily. Definitely not my favorite looks from this fashion week. They seem to have really just like used blush as a very prominent theme, which of course fits the entire idea of spring summer fashion. But I mean, not my favorite look, but definitely very beautiful nonetheless. Libertine. Now Libertine was really fascinating because they actually had three-dimensional appliques applied to the models. These appliques were apparently handcrafted by Nikki Andrea, and the makeup artist for this show was Kelsey Denningham, and they used stencils to apply the makeup to the models' looks to create a really smoky effect on the eyelids. It's really quite fascinating. There's a lot of eye pencil, there's a lot of eyeliner used in this look as well, so you have that smoldering makeup look that's grounded in a way and made even more dramatic and unforgettable by those like appliques that were applied to the models. Now this is another really just interesting look created by Pat McGrath. This was for the show Anna Sue. Now Pat McGrath decided to use fuchsia and lemon to create like really minimal but still really beautifully impactful and editorial and just beautiful makeup looks as well. There's also white liner used in these looks as well. White liner is something that I really would love to experiment a little bit more with. I have yet to find a perfect white liner formula, but this show, like this entire look was pulled off so well, or was created so well by Pat McGrath. And then some looks were made even more impactful by the addition of gems on around the model's eye area as well. It's really quite beautiful. So those are all the makeup looks that I wanted to talk about for New York Fashion Week Spring Summer 2020. We will be back next week. So if you're interested in seeing specifically runway makeup look videos from me, check back next week and I will have another video talking about London Fashion Week. So with that, thank you so much for your time today. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.